So this morning we're launching a review of our grid development strategy, and it's out there for feedback and comment and focused on three pillars. One is responding to the feedback that we've got from local communities. Secondly, taking advances in technologies and seeing how that can be deployed on the grid to maximise the use of the existing assets. And all of this, I suppose, is at its centre is about delivering on Ireland's social, economic and energy policy objectives. And we have, the government's action plan for jobs, the IDA's regional development strategy firmly at the heart of what we're doing here today. And we've identified some new options for the GridLink project. We've set out options for the Grid West project. And we're also confirming our approach with the North-South project, which is at a much more advanced stage and which is about to go into the planning process. And I suppose through all of this, we're trying to balance the effect that new infrastructure and transmission infrastructure undoubtedly has with communities, and balance that with the cost and the implications of that on consumers' bills and Ireland's competitiveness. So on GridLink, we've identified a new technology option. It's called series compensation. It has been used in different applications in other parts of the world, for example in the US on really long transmission lines, but this will be its first deployment in Ireland and one of the first in Europe. And what it does is it overlays on an existing grid and allows you to maximise the amount of power that you can transfer through that grid. So utilising the existing assets much more, sweating them, getting much more out of them. So that is a new option for the GridLink project, and we've set that out today alongside a fully underground solution and also an overhead solution. On the Grid West project, we've set out three options. One of them is a fully underground solution. The second is an overhead solution using 400 kV technology. And then thirdly, we've another overhead solution using 220 kV technology, where we're able to deploy some elements of undergrounding and up to a maximum of 30 kilometres. So sort of a hybrid option between the two. So I suppose today is about reviewing the grid development strategy, setting it in the context of current economic circumstances, current energy policy, current expectations for demand growth, and making sure that it's appropriate for the Ireland of today and the Ireland into the future. And what we've seen is that advances in technologies and the changing economic circumstances have, in some cases, allowed us to deploy new solutions which more effectively use the existing assets and therefore ultimately may have less impact on communities because there will be less infrastructure and more effective solutions. We've also launched a website today. It's at www.eirgrid.com/EirGrid and people can log on there. They can see all of the reports that we've published. We have an overview document, we have a detailed technical document, we have a peer review of the technical analysis by London Power Associates, and we have an economic analysis by Indicon. And there's a structured website there where people can provide feedback on specific items. So we're really looking for people to log on, have a look at the material, give us their feedback over the next 8 weeks, and I suppose help us, give us your feedback on the draft strategy and help us to inform what the final strategy looks like.